Alright, welcome back to another league race. This time we're with DNS. This time we're in Mexico for the Mexican Grand Prix dry qualifying, dry race. So those are good things to have right off the bat. So looking forward then to this one. Expectations heading into this one, I was hoping for a podium at least. We can get into that a little bit later. We do a 14.6 I think that is on Ultra Softs. The reason why I'm doing Ultra Softs as my first one is because I want to use the Hyper Softs. I do believe they are the best tyre for qualifying. I do think you can definitely get these. This is a usable set of Hypersofts, unlike Singapore. So I actually can get them to where lap 8 or so. You're going to see we do the fastest lap 13.6 or 13.8 rather. So not bad. But here we go then. Last lap the qualifying and validated 13.4. So that annoyed me. But at the end of the day, it's going to be pole position. There were guys that qualified behind on ultras. So looking at the possibly one stop, but I did weigh up the options. I did think a two stop would probably be best. So anyways, we are going to start it first on a track where it's going to be tough because it's a long way down to turn 1. So you can see there ultras and supers is what we're going for today. Two stop. See if you can, look, ultras to supers I'm sure you could do, but it's just hard. It's extremely difficult to do it. So I thought, why not do the Hypersofts and get a bit of performance at least to begin. So anyways, here we go then. We're gonna have 4 and 5 red lights, and away we go. So I was already off by the fact I lost in-game sound. So anyways, Darkbull's going to come up our inside. I'm going to leave him the space. We're going to try and take the racing line as opposed to just trying to cut off the inside. Take the racing line, see what happens. Goes down the inside, late braking. I do believe he actually... I made contact with him there, but I do think he actually... did not accelerate intentionally. Is my guess there as to why I was able to close that much and hit into the back of him. He parked on the apex, and I think just with no way around, it's a smart thing to do to kind of just make sure you park and make sure that they can't really get back at you. So and you have to back off, and then you can just keep going forward. So you can see that our tire wear actually is at 16% on lap 1. So that was cause for concern for me for sure. I knew that obviously the wear is going to be difficult on hypers, but 16% was not something I really felt comfortable with on lap 1. He's had to get to lap 8, mind you, so that was a concern for me. But anyway, we're going to move on to lap 2, and we're going to hop into the race for a bit of a live reaction.
Oh fucking hell! He's all over.
Oh, Darkball's gone.
Yep. Jesus!
Oh, I've lost my wheel while avoiding that. That scared the living shite out of me. Oh, be the living Lord Jesus, I nearly had a heart attack.
I completely avoided it.
Oh, poor Cocker. Poor Cocker tried to avoid Darkball's flailing car of control, and that caused a big crash and a VSC. So I decided to make a split decision to come in, put on these super softs, because it was basically the tire wear was concerning to me from the beginning. So I thought, okay, let me try and get off these now, where I've got a good chance. The VSC's coming at a good time to pop in and get a free kind of half a free pit stop. Let's make the most of it as we can. So it was a split second decision. I went in, and we're going to just go as long as we can on these supers and see what comes out of it. So lap 5 set the fastest lap of the race. We're closing on some of the guys in front. Joe Corby's our big target there because he's on I think he's on a set of supers as well as me. So we're on similar strategies in many ways. So anyways, moving on to lap 6 then. Lonely Boy here has been caught up a good bit. I think he was struggling on his tyres. Going to come out of the final corner and make sure we get this move done. A couple of people coming to the pit stops as well, so if we're up a spot or two. But he tries to defend it, but really when you've got DRS and bare tyres, not much you can really do to defend that. So I'll pop in and we move up to P7 there. So you can see Dan Barr's leading at the front there, so that's who we're aiming for in this race. We'll get to that a little bit later. Lap 8 of Cup onto the back of Joe, heading on to lap 9. You can see him quite a bit of ways here, but he's going to lose a lot of momentum for whatever reason, and Very easy overtake for me in the end. Not sure what wings he's running, or if he was running in low or lean. But there you go. Then we move by Joe into 5th place, and Archie is up next in 4th. And here we are then, lap 11 on better tyres. We're just going to get a much better run out of the S's, get a nice sling along, and that's going to easily vault us into P4. And that's a decent move there, but obviously with the tyre difference, an easy enough one in the end. Heading on then, I think, who's going to pit this? Dan Morris is going to pit this lap. So Dan Morris is pitting this lap. He started on Ultras, got them to lap 11, and now he's going to try and get SS Supers to the end. He was confident at the time of doing it, so we'll see how he gets on with that. So it's a lot, and I knew I had to make another stop again, so I knew he's going to be close. I knew he was going to be back and forth. I knew this was going to be a very interestingly poised race. So moving on then to lap 13, Steve Patton and Mercandise in front. From P2, Steve goes into the pits, Mercandise carries on, so we can just plough on then. One less car to overtake, the better. And lap 14, so we're just trying to get the stint as long as we can and see what tyre to go on after that. Lap 14 then, Mercandise is going to let me go before the stadium section, so he didn't want to lose too much time or something, or just didn't want the extra pressure from behind, or whatever it was, not sure, but lets me through, so can appreciate that. And then on this lap then we just round the final corner, and yeah, we're just trying to keep going as far as we can, and hopefully I think our tyres are 41%, so we got a little bit to go on these yet. And my hope was at the longer this stint went on, I think it was around lap 17 or 18, about what we're on now, where I decided I want to try and get to 21 or so, 21 or 22, and stick ourselves ultra softs on rather than go for another set of super. So Dan Morris are 4 seconds behind on much fresher tyres, and it was about between basically now and basically my pit window, which is right basically just not this lap but the next lap. The tyres just fell off, like they were just dying, and I made the decision that I was just going to let Dan whenever Dan passed me, that was the lap I was going to pit. So or lap 22, either one. So both kind of came at the same time really. So there you go, Dan goes by on his supers, and now end of lap 22. Now we're going to peel into the pits for a set of the ultra soft tyre. So it was a long stint from lap 3. The tyres were absolutely knackered by the end, but we're going to lower the front wing. You see big wear then on the rears. We're going to lower the front wing, and we're going to attack mode for this these last 14 laps on these ultras. A long way to go, but honestly the supers I could not get them to go any further without losing significant time, so had to do it. Anyways, we're going to merge in P4. There's Steve, there's Mercandise as well in front, so both are yet to make another stop, so that's where we're at. I think a lot of people have yet to make a second stop, so see how we do. Lap 24, we catch up to Steve pretty quickly on the supers, and he's not peeling into the pits this time, so we are going to make an overtake this time, and we set our fastest lap of the race, pull across, and there we go then into P3 with a few guys. You see Dan there quite ways down, he's towards the end of sector 1 there, so got a bit of work to do on that front. Lap 25, Mercandise this time is going to peel in and save us the trouble, and Dan Mars is into the pits as well, so Dan was confident he could maybe get a set of the supers to the end, but that wasn't the case, and he peels out there, and it's not a big gap. He's basically pitted 3 laps later than I have, so that's the difference between our two tyres. I knew he had a 3-second penalty. He ended up getting a 6-second penalty as well, a total 6 seconds, but I'll do a 16.5 there, and you're going to see the next lap or so I'm only 2.6 seconds ahead, but I'm not lapping quick enough on this set. Dan's going to do a lap in the 15s, and the gap's 1.8. I'm not doing quick enough times on this stint, so I had a feeling we'd done practice, and kind of every practice session he had a little bit on me in terms of lap time, and this was beginning to show. Lap 29 of 36. Again, my lap times just haven't been as good as I needed them to be. Dan's have been quicker, and he's made up the gap as a result. It wasn't a huge gap, but he's made it up nevertheless, and coming out of the last corner, there's nothing really I can do to stop this. I'm going to try and fight for everything I can. I've not got a ton of fuel, I've not got a ton of ERS to fight, but we're going to try our hardest to do so. We're going to pull over to the right hand side. Dan is going to dip into the toe, dip back out. I missed the braking zone slightly, go deep, and then have to get off the throttle as to not run into Dan into that corner, and that ended up costing me a lot of time. I think it ended up costing me about maybe a second or so, just that alone. So, and that was big. It cost me 8/10 there, and that one him overtaking me where I should have been 3 or 4. So lap 32, then he's pulled the gap to 2 seconds basically, and basically from this point forward the tyres just gave up on me. There wasn't anything left in them. Lap 34, 3.8. It's getting worse and worse and worse. Well, maybe not by lap 32, but definitely by lap 30, 33, 34. The tyres had just gone on me, and 6 seconds I was just clinging, hoping he either get another penalty or such, but he's going to pull away. Lap 36, 6.2. So I'm out of the window now, and there's nothing I can do there. My tyres are gone, and sadly this is going to be how we finish. I'm going to finish P2. So look, the big decision obviously was to come in early for the set of hypers. I don't regret it. I do think the opportunity was there. The tyre wear, you can see, was getting quite high very early on. I don't regret going for it. I took the supers as long as they could go. I took the ultras as far as they could go. Ultimately, I think Dan was just quicker. He was more consistent, and that's the reason why he's going to win this race instead of me. So, look, GG to him. He got the pace on me this one. I'm not there to take it away from him like I did at Hungary when he finished first on track but had penalties. Just I had nothing left to give. There's nothing left. I thought, look, no penalties as well around Mexico. Look, I can be very happy about that. I did everything I could. I felt like I drove the best race I could. I felt like the strategy I did the best I could. It was ultimately down to me. My consistency wasn't good enough, and Dan's was. So, confetti rises. We round the stadium section, and we round the final corner. It's going to be P2. So happy days. Good result. I could be satisfied that I did everything I could in that race. So when you know you've done that, you're not really too upset about the overall result, really. Once you know you've done everything you can. Yeah, that was it. Adam there around the podium. It was a good drive from him. It was heading into the race. Actually, I was really excited because I had no idea how it was going to go. There's different strategies across the field. Pace was kind of unknown. It really was kind of up in the air. So, anyways, 1.5 seconds is the margin we finished behind in the end. So, again, nothing I could really do about that in the end. 2 stops. The majority of the field ended up doing 2. Some people did 1. Actually, just seeing Joe and Steve did the 1 stop. They ended up a long way behind. You can make the 1 stop work, but you really need to have a pace advantage. If you don't have a pace advantage, if you're kind of lower down the field, you probably will be susceptible to be caught by the guys in the 2 stop. So just going to look at the lap times here. I see Dan Morris most for that second stint on the ultras, 16s and then into the 17s, and the mid 17 was his worst time. Whereas I went into the 16s. I never into the 15s, 16s there, 17s, and then lap 34, lap 33, I popped into the 18s, and then the last lap 18.9. So the tyres really just fall away from me in the end. But my lap times were quick enough in the second stint. Dan's were. So that's all that matters in the end. But that's going to do it for round number 17 of DNS. 17? Yes, it's 17. Next up is Brazil, a track I'm not looking forward to. I'm not the best around Brazil, so we'll see how that goes. But anyways, until next time. Yeah, until next time. Yeah, I was too inconsistent on my tires. I don't regret doing 8 ballast, but yeah.